Right, I'll get that right now. We got a major fucking problem. In excess of £50,000 worth of orders just gone. Alexa, turn on hallway lights. My morning routine's relatively consistent, and that's because I feel like getting the day off to a structured start really helps me get my head in the game. I get up this early purely for the fact that I feel most productive early on in the day. My phone's not going off. I have two phones. I have multiple clients, multiple employees, and when the day starts, my phone's hectic. So I'll get up early doors. I've obviously got a son who's normally up about 6:30, so I like to get up before him. I'm not doing cardio at the moment purely for the fact that I'm actually trying to gain some weight, or actually maintain some weight while lockdown's on. So I don't want to be overdoing the cardio. First thing I do is get out of bed, check my emails, make sure there's absolutely no like crazy fires going off overnight, like major problems I have to address straight away. If that happens, I'll have to jump straight on the computer. But if that's not the case, what I'll do is I'll come downstairs, I'll let the dog out for a wee. I'll feed him in a moment. I then have my my supplements I take every morning, my health subs. So these are astragalus, NAC, multivitamins, vitamin D, etc. And then I will jump straight on the computer and start hammering out a few emails. And I've got a few over here. So this is I tend to work here towards the end of the night quite often, in the kitchen, so that the laptop's here when I wake up in the morning. And then I'll progress as my son gets up and starts making a lot of noise. I'll progress up to the office, which is upstairs, which is much more quiet. So I'll jump straight on there, do any emails that are kind of like urgent, and then I'll shortly go through what I actually do is like my morning routine on the computer, which is kind of like checking pay-per-click campaigns, stuff for clients that I need to check every single day. And I've also got a priority list of stuff here. I have a very big list on my phone and on my computer of what I need to be doing every day anyway. I have like this content schedule, but as things come up throughout the week, I have priority stuff that I need to get done in this quiet period in the morning, which is, I kind of advise anyone doing this, like I call it my power period, where I have like 2-3 hours in the morning where I get stuff done that can't not be done during the day, because as soon as my phone starts going off, I need to obviously speak to clients and address things, or speak to my employees and make sure they're doing stuff for clients. And if I don't get this stuff done, this stuff is bad. This stuff needs sorting. So I bosh through that as fast as I can in the morning, and then get straight onto my actual schedule. So yeah, I'll let me feed the dog shortly. No drinking, you come. You hungry? Yeah, you're hungry. Stay. Wipe your feet. Good boy. That's one happy dog. So I don't, obviously, normally when I'm doing cardio, I would take EAAs. I don't normally eat straight away when I wake up, because obviously I like to get my work done first. It's just bothers me if I'm getting behind on work. So what I do tend to do when I take my multivitamins is I'll also make just one scoop of AX1. If I'm doing cardio, I'll drink it when I'm doing cardio as well. I normally have 2 scoops when I'm doing cardio. And then I will drink that with my coffee, which I'm about to make, while I'm sitting at my laptop. Obviously, hydration is great, and because I'm trying to maintain as much muscle as possible, I will drink AX1s first thing in the morning while I haven't got any food in my system. And then after I've handled all my initial tasks, checks and everything else, I'll have my breakfast. So yeah, that's how we roll in the morning. So just to let you know, the phone filming won't continue. obviously I get up super early. So Jake will be coming around about 9 o'clock, I believe. And we will, after I've had my shower, we will start with the rest of the day's work with him filming, so I'll be a bit more professional. But for now, you get the potato. Then I have several orders from typically the night before that I have to start packing before about 10 o'clock. I need to go out because the delivery driver comes about then. E-commerce has been a bit of a nightmare this year. We import all of our stuff from China, and I don't know if you know, but since lockdown, there was obviously restricted amounts of stuff coming in the initial lockdown in March. And then what's happened is the suppliers over here, including us, have basically tripled or quadrupled their orders of stuff they were ordering in to make sure that they could kind of account for an increase in demand. Everyone shot crazy. When lockdown happened first time, orders went through the roof for pretty much everything across the board online. E-commerce just went nuts. Everyone was buying everything. It was like a frenzy. So basically everyone sold out of everything, then couldn't get stuff, and then have ordered and overcompensated by ordering more just in case they couldn't get hold of it. So we've all ordered a lot more this year. Then what's happened is a shitload more stuff's come into the ports where they've now got people on furlough, people who've got COVID or whatever, and have then said, right, we've now got new systems where we have to check everything that's coming in case it's contaminated, blah, blah, blah. So stuff is coming off of the port way slower. They've got a reduction in door-to-door services where you order from China, it comes to your door. People are having to organise collections from the port, from third-party companies here. It's a nightmare, an absolute nightmare. So we've got 3 big orders on the water coming over, like hundreds of thousands of pounds worth of stock. We've got a warehouse and everything else, but this is just overflow for the time being, and I'm packing it from here just because it's easier during lockdown. So as part of my morning routine, if my brother's not around, I am packing. And yes, I know you're going to say, Elliot, it's a waste of your time, this, that and the other. It is, to be honest. I could be paying someone else for doing this, but during lockdown it's quite difficult. So I'm doing it myself, and the company's growing. E-commerce at the moment is an absolutely great tool, and as everyone's been saying for years, everything's going digital. It kind of has, and kind of COVID has proven that if you look at Amazon and Jeff Bezos, who's absolutely rubbing his hands together, he loves a lockdown, that man. Amazon is absolutely killing it, and other people doing e-commerce are doing well. So a little tip here for people that are doing e-commerce: you're not going to compete with the mammoths like the Amazons and the eBays and people that you're doing kind of clothing, retail and stuff like that. You're not going to compete with the big boys like the ASOS's. They seem to be able to do next day delivery when you order at like 10 o'clock on a Sunday night, because they have decent contracts with like Hermes and stuff like that, where they do special collections and off-bear deliveries because they're doing big quantities. Now, what you can do as a small business is niche down. So that's what we're doing. We're doing lighting. And we've taken one area of lighting and becoming expert and authority in that field, so that we can add a lot more value to the products that we're selling. Now, this is the same when it's a kind of service, anything else. If you become the expert in your field, you can then compete against the big boys and still market share in that area. Although you won't be able to offer the shipping rates and the kind of costs that they can get, you can offer more value in other areas by being able to maybe give a bigger product range, better product descriptions, be able to have better live chats, be on the phone, explain things to people, write blogs on specific products. Amazon doesn't do that. So if you've got a slightly more complex product or a decent range of products, you become the expert in that field, and you can still do very well in e-commerce. Hannah is taking Morgan to her mum's today, so she can revise for her surgical exams. I like it, quiet house. Yes. So this is what the hallway typically looks like most mornings. much to my family's amusement. When we got the warehouse back, it'll be much tidier. Jenkins outside. Let me go for his number 2, boot number 2 of the day, one or the other. Looking happy as ever. Just waiting for Jake to turn up now. I haven't had any breakfast yet, so I'll crack on with some food when he gets here. So guys, Jake has finally arrived and I'm not on my potato of a phone anymore filming, so I'll do a proper introduction. We are currently on lockdown 2.0 in 2020, in case there's more in 2021 and you're watching this video thinking, well, 2025, we're still in lockdown, you never know. Wanted to do a little bit of a day in the life of what I kind of do as a hybrid entrepreneur, as I like to call it. Obviously running multiple businesses. I won't go into all of them. If you watch my previous videos, you'll kind of know which ones they are. And just kind of what I'm doing during lockdown. Obviously, I don't typically get out a huge amount anyway. I quite often work from home. I obviously see Jake quite a lot. The videographer who's kind of holding the camera at the moment. And I deal with a lot of my staff remotely anyway. So in terms of the actual work setup, things haven't changed greatly. The only difference is now I don't tend to have as much face-to-face with clients. I don't tend to be on site as much. So from that point of view, I'm not getting out as much, but I'll just kind of give you a general overview of what I do. So as you've seen briefly from what I filmed, I didn't want to film too much because it's crap. I get up very early, 4:35. I kind of call that my power time. I've got it written down here. I have a general list of stuff I planned out to do during the week anyway, things like content production, stuff that I'm going to be going through today, like working for agency clients, like ad generation ideas, working on SEO, whatever it may be, getting videography sorted for another company, whatever it may be. But that's kind of my general list. I have a priority list of things that come up. I run e-commerce companies for other people and myself, so sometimes I fall into problems and they need looking at, and like just some things just need to be sorted. So the period in the morning, and obviously I've got my mentoring company, so I have people texting me all the time, and lots of calls. So in the morning, about 4:30 to 5, my son's asleep, my wife's asleep. I'm not really typically getting too bombarded with stuff on my phone, so I can get all my important emails out of the way and then dive straight into my priority list, which needs to be done that day. And then everything else I will kind of try and do and add to my priority list for the day after if anything else crops up. So I've already packed a load of orders, as you see, if Jake moves the camera over there, ready to go. That's with one of my lighting retail companies, which, as I mentioned in the video recently, is doing very well. Everything e-commerce right now is booming. Actually, I'm dealing with a lot of e-commerce companies and they're all actually exceeding sales drastically, which is kind of not really surprising considering people aren't going out and buying stuff. So everyone's shifted to online sales and people have gone into a bit of a frenzy since lockdown. I'm just about to have my breakfast because I haven't eaten anything yet. Like I said, I've been up for a fair few hours. I've had my aminos, which I showed earlier, which I kind of have in the morning if I'm not going to eat anything for a while, just because I'm trying to maintain some muscle mass while I can't train properly. I'm doing a bit of some home workouts and stuff. But now I'm gonna have some eggs on toast. And then afterwards, I'm gonna jump straight into my morning checks. I haven't actually had a chance to do those because we actually had more orders come in last night than anticipated, which isn't a problem. Now my morning checks are basically, we run pay-per-click campaigns, Facebook ads, Google ads. I just, for myself and other companies. So I've got my marketing agencies. I've already replied to a load of mentees messages this morning. They go through on WhatsApp or email. Done voice notes to those people, and I've got inquiries as well. I always deal with inquiries quickly, as you should do. It's kind of standard 101 running a business. If you're getting back to people quickly that have inquired, they tend to think that your service is better, which it probably normally is if you're that kind of person. And then we're going to dive into all the pay-per-click campaigns, make sure everything's running as it should, check the data, see if anything's cropped up that we need to address urgently. And then I've got sales calls, marketing stuff to do with a few companies, which I'll run you through. I've got to run a few errands, so we jump out in the car for a little bit, then we'll come back and then address kind of anything else that's built up throughout the day. So yeah. Don't know if anyone else is like me. I hate the white gooey bit on the eggs, but I actually really like runny yolks, so I'll try and break as much of the white crap off. That is what we class as perfection. There are 77 ways to get more. It's really crap. Why? Well, it was very impersonal, just text, and it was not, yeah. So, what I do every morning is before everyone else is up, I feel it's really important to still try and learn every day, even if it's like for 20 minutes. So this particular video I'm watching here is a guy called Nick Shackelford, who's a very good Facebook marketer. You have to remember now that technology and advertising and marketing specifically is kind of expanding at an exponential rate. And if you don't stay on top of your game and you get complacent because you've got a decent amount of clients, some young kid that's been researching and trialing and smashing new stuff will come in and absolutely dominate your figures, and you'll eventually just end up without a business. So I think purely for the ability to be able to obviously increase your knowledge and obviously how much you're worth to your clients, and just staying on top of the game is so important. So this is what, because I'm so busy every day, I don't really get much time to actually do learning. I read books at night if I have time, but I feel like I can cram in quite a lot of knowledge from these videos, especially stuff about Facebook marketing, ads and things like that, and just getting other people's opinions and building up my strategy. So I'll sit here, eat my breakfast, which by the way is about 10 eggs, 3 egg yolks, 4 pieces of toast, and 1 slice with some jam on because it's nice. I'm obviously at the moment just trying to keep my muscle mass my small muscle mass that I've built before I can get back to the gym and train properly again. So if you are someone like myself that takes it relatively seriously, don't just stop eating because you're not training. I mean, it's very hard to lose muscle that you built up over years if you eat properly. I mean, if lockdown is finishing on the 2nd of December, which it doesn't, I don't think all industries will go back, but I think the gyms hopefully will. We should be absolutely fine in terms of maintaining what we've got. So eat well, guys, and make sure you're learning.
I had a phone call from a guy from Manchester, an 0161 number, saying he's from Google, and there's a gap for my trade come up in my area of Google for some special 30-day thing, but it has to be done today, blah, blah, blah. I sort of bored him off a bit to call me back later today, but does it sound like something that's legit to you, or a bit of a scam? Because my spidey senses is telling me that something not right about it.
Hey mate, yeah, I've heard of these before. Quite often they're selling like space, I think, like on indexes and things like that. Like, to be honest, if they're from Google, they would be selling you AdWords and not like a specific package. So he's not from AdWords per se. Get him to send you over an email of what he's proposing. You should be able to do that relatively easy with his credentials and who they are. And I'll have a quick browse over it for you just to double check. But to be honest, mate, if you're going to do any kind of AdWords or Google advertising, you'd use AdWords and use geographical locations and go from that route anyway. You wouldn't need one of these companies helping you with that stuff. So yeah, just get them to send it over and I will look for you, it's no problem. So as you may or may not know, I do the marketing and web development for Watson gym equipment. I'm just checking, as I do every day, every morning, their ads account, and I've had an ad disapproval, which is pretty common with a lot of Facebook stuff. I mean, Facebook's constantly changing its rules and parameters and things like that, especially at the moment with COVID, the American election and Black Friday coming up. They tighten the rules even more. So, for example, we've got an ad here that doesn't comply. Now, I've gone into the ad. This is the kind of thing I do every morning. I've gone into the ad to have a little look to see what the error was, and it said, update the ad to comply with our alcohol policy. This ad can't promote alcohol sales or consumption to minors. Now, if you look at this ad, it's a power rack with absolutely no mention of alcohol. So I can only assume that something in the copy, which is here, don't let quarantine ruin your hard work, blah, blah. There's something in this that, so since 1999 we've passionately crafted. It could be. I know that I've seen ads where people say they've passionately crafted beverages and whatever else, beer and things like that, could possibly have triggered their policy disallowance. Now, I can't see any issues with this. So what I'm going to do is send this for review, because I can only imagine that when you send it for review, it basically has a manual person that will look at it rather than the algorithm saying computer says no, basically, which is what's happened here. So when I send it off for a review, they'll have a manual review, and if somebody with half a brain looks at this, they will see that it's not breaking their alcohol policy. So this is the kind of stuff I do every morning. I'll look through kind of return on ad spends, make sure the ads are working, start getting an idea of stuff that I want to create later. So later on today, I'm going to be going through ad ideas that I'm going to be creating for Watson. I've also got Overdrive. I've just had a message from another one of my companies that I run for, Switch to Wood, and they've just said to me that there's a slight message change they need on the website, so I will now dig into that and do that quickly. So this is the kind of thing that I do for about an hour every morning, kind of handling stuff that needs to be adjusted really quickly, the pay-per-click stuff, the Google AdWords. So I'll go on to Google AdWords next for Overdrive, Switch to Wood. I've got a few other companies I do for track lighting and this other stuff that I do. So I'll then go through all of that, make sure it's all running okay, we're all happy with everything. With the e-commerce company we've got, the lighting company I've actually got to reduce some spend on some stuff. Only that we have sold out of some ranges very quickly. So we've got a little bit of stock left, but the next order's due to arrive in about 4 weeks from China. At the rate we're selling, we won't have enough stock. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pull the ad spend back a little bit to make it more consistent. So we sell a little bit less of those products and keep it in line. Because like I said, at the moment, e-commerce is gone crazy. So it's juggling, keeping customers happy. You don't, when it comes to kind of Google and Facebook, the last thing you kind of want is to stop. So very much like the Instagram ad and things like that, the pay-per-click systems will reward you for constantly spending money. Now, if you sold out and just stopped all ad spend, they would then have to build up your track record again. So what I'd rather do is wind it down, sell a little bit less, but consistently until the other stuff gets here. A lot of people would say, well, why don't you just sell out and just wait until the other stuff turns back on and turn it back on again? Because when you turn it back on again, your cost per click is going to be higher. You got to build up things like Facebook ads rely on learning. So Facebook will actually build up data sets on how people are reacting with your ad, how they're buying from your website, things like that. If it stops, the learning stops, then you have to start from the ground up again. And the problem with that is it's going to cost you a hell of a lot more, and your return on investment is going to be lower, and your ads aren't going to be hitting as well, because they really fine tune it depending on how you set up the ads to hit. So after about 2-3 weeks of data collection, they then learn who's the ad's working with. They want it to work well because it incentivizes you to spend more money, and secondly, it means that people on Facebook are finding what they want to find. So if that learning stops, you then have to start again, cost more, less effective. Yeah, you get it. So that's the kind of things I juggle in the morning. And then after this, I will be going up to the office upstairs. I've got a couple of sales calls to do, mentoring, before we then jump onto ad design. I'll probably have a chat with a few of the ad team, the marketing team, and get their opinions as well. So I'll wrap up this and then we'll head up upstairs. So about to jump on a call with one of my mentees, Jace. He's a very successful, he is now a very successful online coach. And he's actually currently in Dubai, living the dream. So we've managed to get him to a spot where, I'm not gonna say how many clients he's got, because I know he doesn't particularly like people knowing exactly how many he's got, but we're in several hundreds of clients. So for him now, we're looking not so much at driving a lot more clients. We're looking at brand building to ensure that when he has more capacity, or should anything kind of change, he's got people there at the click of the fingers. And we're also then looking at driving up costs. So we've readjusted some of his services now for a more premium service, so that he can get the same amount of clientele for more money. We're not actively looking to actually increase his clients, which is the only person I've got right now that's in that position, who's at pretty much full capacity, which is a testament to him. I mean, this year he has absolutely blown up, done everything we've talked about, implemented everything that we've strategized, and just he's worked his arse off. He's been active and going to see his clients, even though he's an online coach. He's there for his clients, his competitive clients. He's there on the day for the shows. Like, he's really put the work in. And as I say to everyone, I can tell you what to do. I can lead a horse to water, but I can't make them drink. It's like you helping one of your clients. You can tell them to do the cardio, but you can't do it for them. They have to do that themselves to get the result. So when smart working combined with like very high drive and work ethic combine, magic does actually happen, and he's testament to that, and he's doing fantastic well. So I'm gonna jump on a call with him quick. I've got a couple more calls after, and then we can start working on Overdrive Nutrition. Videos you've done with your professional videographer out there, and a combination of you obviously flying to and from the UK and Dubai, keeping everything fresh and interesting is working particularly well. Obviously, don't take your foot off the gas with the transformations you're uploading. Obviously, you've got so many now. Keep firing those up with obviously the discussion of the process that we talked about, obviously in the copy, and really analysing and pinpointing their pain points. Hey Tony, that should be set up on a direct debit. So to be honest, if it's failing, it could be because their card was actually declined or there was actually an issue with their funds. What we'll do is I'll have a look into that and see if there's any error codes, or see if there's anything actually within Stripe that's giving us indication as to what that might be. Failing that, it might be worth you guys just dropping them an email or giving them a phone call, Stripe that is, and seeing what issue it could be. But let me do some research on that first. The change in price shouldn't have caused that issue at all. Also, could you let me know if it's just some cards that are doing it and others are fine? Because if that was the case, then you would find that obviously that it's not the fact that the price had changed, because the system's the same across the whole board. So myself and Alex have a little look into that anyway. So just had a couple of problems with one of the websites. Well, not a problem with running, it's someone's having a problem with the payment system. So this is obviously, I'm due to do other stuff. I've got a call in about 10 minutes, but I've got several staff that obviously work for me remotely. I've got coders, web designers, marketers, graphic designers, you name it. So what I do a lot throughout the day is, as this stuff pings through, obviously got both my phones going off, emails, and everything else. If something like this is important, some of the payments are failing for some reason, we need to jump on this really quickly. So I'm going to jump on a call with Alex right now and get to the bottom of that. He's also got to look at some other stuff as well. So I'll try and kill two birds with one stone before I then jump back onto some more mentoring calls. Man, I'm all right. Did you see the message from Tony? Yeah, I don't think that would be from the direct debit payments changing. It could do. Normally when I look into Stripe, it says failed, but that was declined. So I'm not entirely sure why that would be. I've just voice noted them to basically say that we'll look into it, but if we can't find anything, that'd probably be worth actually getting hold of Stripe to see what that might be. So yeah, if you can have a look at that for me. Also, with regards to Watson, I saw obviously orders are going back through there this morning, so that's good. Facebook's now tracking again properly, so I'm happy with that. And has Usman worked on the live builder yet? Or is that still needed to be fixed? Or have you fixed that? Oh, wicked. Okay, great, so that works again. Oh, you know the orders you were inputting before, the manual ones, had people actually used the live builder on any of those? Oh, that's good. So it shows that it is actually worth us doing. That's the only thing I was trying to get to the bottom of. All right, wicked. So if you can kind of touch base with Tony on that, I've got a load of other stuff to do right now, so that would be absolutely awesome. All right, mate, thank you very much. Cheers. It would help if I had some decent pens. I've got some dry pens. Need some lubrication. No, that wasn't sexual innuendo. That was actually I needed a wet pen. So, got a bit of a brainstorm to do with Overdrive Nutrition this morning. Obviously, I say obviously all the time. It's not obvious, because if you haven't been watching my videos, I'm making an assumption that you watch my stuff, which I hope you do. But if you don't, I do the marketing for Overdrive Nutrition, which is a supplement company. As you can tell, gyms are shut again. We're locked down 2.0. We've already had a big hit once this year. with the first lockdown, the second lockdown, obviously with gyms being shut, supplements aren't being purchased as much for obvious reasons. I'm not even using the same amount of supplements. I'm not using smacking pre-workouts to go and do some push-ups at home, you know. So we've developed a few new products where they were coming anyway, which have helped. So we've got like whey protein coming, just arrived. We've got glucose disposal agents and stuff like that, which will actually help people during their lockdown. So we're coming up with some new ads and marketing where this is what I'm going to do now. So basically I'll stand here for about an hour, brainstorm on my whiteboard. I'll then probably phone up Willow, who's one of our marketers, and have a chat with her, go through this stuff, get her on the same path once I've got my kind of brain engaged. So as with everything with marketing, we're looking at creating value and helping people with problems that they're having. So utilizing our product or service, in this case, supplements. Now, obviously right now, the biggest pain point people are having is the fact that they can't train, they're worried about losing muscle, or their hard work, or potentially overeating because they're stuck at home with the fridge there. They're bored. There's all these different things. So these are kind of different pain points I've been playing around with that we can kind of use as marketing angles to push against the product. So first and foremost, bringing value. There's no point us cranking out information on gym workouts and stuff like that. Obviously, we like to talk about fitness and the gym to help sell the products, because indirectly, if we're helping people with training and stuff like that, they're more likely to be inclined to look at purchasing supplements. So I've got a girl called Hannah who's been helping us do. It's actually the girlfriend of Jake the cameraman. She's an online coach, Hannah Bates, and she's been doing home workouts for us, nutrition stuff and things like that. So we're looking at showing how we can utilize our products within that environment, and also just how to give people general help during this period. So it brings people to our page and keeps us engaged and active while we can't really push all the other products. So we've already done kind of like a few recipes. Jake's finalizing a home workout stuff where we've got kind of banded workout stuff that especially females and things like that can do to bring as much value as possible. Now we're going to start brainstorming how we can utilize like things like the GDA, because the GDA is really helpful in controlling insulin sensitivity. Now, if you're not exercising as much, which increases insulin sensitivity, it makes you more carb resistant, which means that you're more likely to gain fat, things like that. So these supplements can be used during lockdown, and we need to make people aware of that. So obviously our whole marketing plan was geared at training and everything else. Now we've got to kind of re-plan it and start putting some new Facebook ads out, some new content on Instagram, some new value on the kind of blog and the video logs on the website, of contextually how we can bring overdrive to help you during your lockdown, which it can, it's just people aren't aware of it yet. So we've got to make a quick job of that now, because obviously if it is only 4 weeks, we need to make sure it's done quickly. And then after that, go back again to the old marketing strategy of obviously utilizing gyms and however other people use that within their lifestyle, going to work, etc., etc. So I'm going to start whacking down. First of all, what I tend to do is kind of pain points people are having right now. Obviously, like I said before, struggling for motivation, struggling to maybe keep accountable of their eating, obviously not training, bored, insulin sensitivity problems. So we could talk about the general pain points and then go into like the kind of emotional side of things of that, of feeling uncomfortable, stuff like that, and then how we can plant that against our product. So you take a hook, which is the problem, and then we've got the solution, which is possibly the GDA or the whey protein to help you keep your musculature, the AX1, the EAAs and stuff like I use personally during the day while I'm not training as much, to try and keep my muscle mass where it's at. So I kind of go pain points, hooks, how we can solve them, and then from there I'll have a chat with Willow. We'll kind of brainstorm that all out over the next kind of hour and a half, and then she will go away and start drawing up some copy for some ads and some content ideas, and then I will then either get the graphic design on myself just to kind of draw up the kind of media and copy that we need for that, and then we'll start putting that into action. And like I say, these are all hypotheses. The stuff that I kind of come up with today, I'm just assuming is going to be a pain point. And then what we'll do is I'll kind of put 4 or 5 ideas out there. So for example, the GDA will help with fat gain. That might not actually be a big pain point for people. I think it probably will be, but we don't know until I actually run that ad or run the ads. I'll make several ad variations for that problem and the hook, and then see how they go. So I action, analyze, adjust. I'll analyze the data and then adjust those ads on the fly as fast as humanly possible. Now, I've got to do the same for Watson again later. Watson have been doing absolutely amazingly during the lockdown. They do quite a lot of high-end stuff, and they export a lot of gym equipment. So the people that they're selling to aren't necessarily in financial hardship, and the gyms that they're selling to are using the time with lockdown and the gyms being shut to refurb. So fantastic. And they also do a lot of home kit, so it's a win-win for Watson. So it's making sure that we're obviously touching on those pain points, the fact that they're bespoke branded, we're going for the higher end stuff. So I'll go over that later anyway, but I've got to dive into this now, and then like I said, I'll phone Willow, get that all drawn up, and then after this I've got to pop out in the car. I've got to take some stuff to drop off to a client, and then we'll be back in the office later. Switch to wood. Basically, they're having an issue at the moment where there's a lot of like promo code websites that are advertising that they've got like a 20% code for their site, which they don't. They're like sites that basically, probably the best thing to do is on the checkout part, you know, we have the option, the bit where you actually put the code in, just need to remove that somehow, like within the checkout. So like, it doesn't actually have like a, because what people do is they get to the checkout and go, oh, there's a code box. Then they'll go and search for like switch to discount codes, and then find that there's a site of advertising it, and then get pissed off. I can eloquently get in this car. Oh, elegance, baby. Elegance.
Getting better now.
Getting better. Right, so literally this is what I'm like all day long. So although I might not be in front of a computer, which I seldom am anymore, I'm literally on the phone, as Jake will attest, like 24/7. So I've literally got in the car, about to drive somewhere. We're getting funnels made for overdrive, where you can basically scoop powder in. Now we've got an issue with the print. This is coming from China. The nutrition part's too small, so as soon as I get back, this needs to be produced like now. So now I've got to rush to go to where I'm going to get back to remake this, to send it back out to China so they can reprint it and we can okay it. Also not particularly happy with the size, so this is kind of like day-to-day kind of stuff. Like I'm just constantly on the go, and to be honest, whether or not I'm in an office or not, it never stops. And this is the thing with being an entrepreneur. If you think that like you don't like doing a 9 to 5, you have to take into account, if you're going to start running your own business, you are going to be working 24/7. Like literally every time even when you're streaming, I'm dreaming about work. When I'm sitting there thinking, like watching the TV, or this, if I actually get a chance to sit down with Hannah and actually watch something on Netflix, I will be thinking about work. I'll be on my phone, I'll be getting told off for being on my phone. So it's a constant job, but I love it. So it's all good, but let's get out. I'm going to get a Monster as well, because Jake had one earlier, made me fancy one, so we're going to make a pit stop to the petrol station. So I thought it was apt while we're in the car to kind of talk about this subject. It's something I've touched on a lot recently, and that is something I heard recently from a guy called Seth Godin. He's like the marketer, the kind of inventor of marketing. He's a very smart guy. He said that you can't have trust without attention, but you can't have attention without trust. Now, I hear this all the time where people say, "Oh, Elliot, how are these guys getting so many clients? How are these online coaches getting so many clients? I'm a much better coach than they are." That may be true, but why are they making so much money? Like, I'm trying really hard to kind of scale my business and all this stuff, and I'm a really good coach, and the service they're providing is crap, yet they're still making more money than me, and they've got more clients than me. That's where the attention part comes in. Now, you can light yourself on fire in the street. This is the analogy Seth Godin gave. You can light yourself on fire in the street, and you'd get a lot of attention, but does that mean people would trust you to buy from you after that point? They might know who your name is. They'll be like, that nutter that burnt himself in the street up the road. You're very well known via attention, but no one actually trusts what you have to say. So marketing is a bit of both. Well, it's a lot of both, actually.
you can't just have the trust side. You can't be a great coach and expect to have a great business, and you also can't expect to have great awareness and have people then buy from you. So you have to work out ways to firstly increase trust via your service, via your validation, via your referrals, via your knowledge, and then also back that up with awareness. So I like to do the trust first and awareness after. You want to make sure that you're obviously capable of providing the service correctly in a manner that people actually like and value. And then you can work on ways of social media and outreach and maybe pay-per-click campaigns, or doing something a bit innovative, be a bit different, and come up with something that's actually going to generate that awareness, so that people are then drawn towards your brand, where you are trusted and you are known for being good at what you do. You can't have one without the other. So stop trying to think and if one thing you're good at, then find help, maybe find a mentor or find a teacher or find someone who's already doing a good job of that, or analyze and break down what the people that are doing it well, how they're doing it, how they're reaching out to people, or how they're building that trust, and start to implement both in your strategy. You can't have one without the other. And this is a really good take home for anyone that's struggling. And also, if you're then getting a lot of awareness but not making any sales, you need to then look at, okay, are people trusting me? Am I validated? Or if you've got a great service, why aren't people seeing you or buying from you? And work that out and employ both of those strategies within your business, not just the one. And as always, guys, any questions, just drop me a message on the YouTube channel, or find me on Instagram, and I'm more than happy to help.
Right, I'll get that right now. Oh, we got a major fucking problem.
Cheers.
Yeah. So basically, there's been an issue with Watson, and the backups haven't been working properly. So we've been working on some Facebook. I need to hurry up actually. We've been working on some Facebook updates and some new ads, and we had to do a system restore on the website to change some things we've done. But what's happened is basically it's backed up. The last full backup was from the 3rd of November, and it's basically lost all of the data off the website until today. So we've now got to try and find a way. There is literally no other full backups done. We assumed the server had been working, so we've actually got no way of. We've lost about in excess of £50,000 worth of orders just gone off the site. So we've got email confirmations and stuff like that. So I've now got to get back and if I can find out, excuse my French, how to kind of correct this. So yeah, it's going to be a long day, I think. So I've got a really squeaky chair. So we've dug in. I'm on what should be my 4th meal of today. It's currently my 2nd. I've had a monster. So if that doesn't really cost as any kind of nutrition whatsoever, but these days happen, and like today work's come over food, so I didn't even realise I hadn't eaten. Stressed to say the least. So we found out what happened. Like I said, there's a partial backup. There's only been partial backups being made on the website, which we didn't know. The host hadn't informed us, and we thought it was all hunky-dory. We've tried to install a backup from yesterday, which didn't work, so the server's defaulted by updating a backup from the 3rd of November, as I mentioned earlier. Now, not only has it knocked out all the work we've been doing, so basically, because we've taken over recently the control and working on the website, so page speed optimization has been a huge thing, because we're scaling up the ad spend. The faster the page speed loads, the higher the conversion rate massively low. If every time a page takes a second longer to load, roughly you're losing half the conversion rate. So for example, let's say on average, you get a 3% conversion rate on a page that's loading 4 seconds. If you get down to 3-second load speed, you'd probably get it up to like a 5 or 6% conversion rate, typically. So these are kind of metrics we're looking at. So page speed is massive. So we did loads of coding on the server, the back end of the website, cleaning everything up, which has all gone back to where it was before. The good thing is we know what we needed to do now, so we've already done a lot of the legwork, which was like the research, working stuff out. So like I said, we can probably take 2 weeks worth of work and get it in a day or 2. Anyway, we've done landing pages for ads, loads of other stuff to make it obviously optimized for scaling. We've actually
halfway through the month, hit their best ever month on the website. So in history. So we've already surpassed their best ever month and we're halfway through. So the stuff's been working. This has just been a bit of a kick in the nuts. But these things happen. And it was something we probably wouldn't have known. We needed to know with the host that this wasn't backing up properly. Anyway, now no, this won't happen again. We lost all of the audit information from the 3rd of November to now. Luckily, we get email confirmations. So we're now having to input all of every single customer, their name, their billing address, their delivery address, if they're different, create an account for them, and then manually input all of their order information. Now, Watson stuff isn't just like, okay, I'm buying a phone. It's, I want a bench with this stitching, it's all bespoke. So they will have massive loads of attributes. So if you buy dumbbells, there's a huge list of stuff that they pick. So I have to manually input all of those. So there's 3 of us inputting those from the emails manually. There's no other way around this because we've got no backup, nothing. So by about, like I said, I've estimated 2-3 o'clock in the morning, we'll have this done. And then by, what day are we on now? Thursday, probably by Friday, Saturday, we should have all the other stuff put back in now. Although that's fine, I've now got to take 2 people's worth of resources that I had planned to put on other jobs. I've got other new websites, I've got marketing stuff for new clients, I've got a new aesthetics clinic in Hove that I'm doing a website for. I've got, luckily just finished off another website for a guy called John Clark, a really nice PT. We're going to start doing marketing with him. Obviously all overdrive stuff, that's now got to be reallocated. I have time slots allocated for people. When shit like this hits the fan, that all has to be reallocated and pushed back, or potentially more people employed at a cost to myself to make sure that we hit deadlines. So needless to say, very stressful, but we've found a solution. I was worried that we might not actually be able to get that information back. So we found a solution, although it's not an easy solution, it's not a quick solution, it's going to be very costly to me. It is what it is. Watson are a phenomenal company. Simon and the owner and Eben, who we kind of work with quite closely, lovely people, and they've got a fantastic business. So we need to make sure that they run smoothly and seamlessly and continue with their record-breaking month. So yeah, like this is a problem. They won't even feel it their end. This all comes down to us. Like I need to buffer from them so that their company and their business doesn't slow down. So I basically stomach all the stress. My employees, yeah, they have to work a little bit longer, but as a business owner, and I know that a lot of online coaches and business owners watch these channels, and that's why you're probably watching it if you're interested in the life of an entrepreneur, you take the shit. Like days like this, all the stress lands on you. No matter who fucked it up or whatever happened, the host, one of your employees, that's your fault. As the business owner, you take the blame. You have to take the brunt of it. You have to take responsibility. And no one else, you can't palm it off to senior management or a superior. It doesn't happen when you run your own business. You take the shit. So if you are looking to become an entrepreneur, and I would always advise people to, because I love it, it's something that I absolutely love and wouldn't change it, you have to be prepared to take the shit. This is why it's important to get the right employees as well, because you want the least amount of fuck ups possible, basically, so that because the buck stops with you. You're the one that employed that person, you're the one that's been overseeing them. If they make a mistake, it falls on you. A client does not care who they are. You can't go, oh, my employee, it's you. You are the client, you are the employee. You are the entity that they've employed. They're paying for your time, your experience, your knowledge to make sure the job is done correctly. So one of those days, I'm literally going to try and get some food in, because otherwise I will wither. I struggle to gain weight as it is, so for me, I have to make sure I'm eating, otherwise I lose. And then stress is not good for me either. I lose weight very quickly when I'm stressed, so I'll probably be 10 kilos tomorrow. And then me and Jake will be on the McDonald's, because that's still open, by the way. Gyms aren't, but McDonald's is. Great. Just thought I'd write that in there. But we were driving earlier and went past McDonald's, which was how many people in there? It was like backed up out the fucking street. But can't go to the gym. COVID isn't on. COVID doesn't exist in McDonald's.
No,
it's all good.
Not that
Anyway, enough of that. So yeah, positive, like we will get it fixed and we're gonna have the best month ever. So I'll have a shit day. We still get content done. I'll still kill 2 birds with 1 stone. After this, I've got to do the overdrive funnel top, which I told you I was supposed to be doing when I got back. That's not happened. That got delayed, but we'll get it done before the close of play today. And then I'll stay up, hitting some lean whiskies, listening to some music, and work into early hours in the morning when it's quiet. Phone is non-stop. The other phone's over there, so I don't even have any messages on there. That's got to get parked because this is more important. Nothing right now is more important than this. So this needs to get fixed. That stuff will be addressed shortly. Mentees will be addressed later. And yeah, it's just, like I said, we'll wake up tomorrow morning after about 30 minutes of sleep probably and go again. It's all good. So without further ado, I want to finish my meal, jump onto the overdrive stuff. And then what I'll do is I'll get Jake to leave the camera here and I'll do a little wrap up video while I'm kind of inputting some stuff and having a lean whiskey this evening. So hope you enjoyed the video anyway, and I'll catch up to you on the next little bit in a mo. So guys, as I explained in the Ferrari just before we went out, I had planned to do this as soon as I got back, but obviously Watson, shit hit the fan. So I've got the guys working on looking at some solutions right now, and they're gonna get back to me. But I'm gonna quickly knock out this because this needs to be printed today. So all I need to do is just adjust some text and send that back off to China, them approve it, send it back over, and we basically say, yeah, go to print. So Photoshop quickly, then back onto Watson inputting more orders, because the other guys are working on it right now. They've bought me a little bit of time. This is why I always say it's so important to have a team around you when shit does hit the fan like it has done today. Like today is a stressful day. If I didn't sort this out, you could potentially lose big clients from one little mistake. So what I can now do is let that happen and continue to fix itself while I can then focus on actually progressing other stuff. So without a team around me, I wouldn't be able to do this. This would have now got lost, that would have got behind, that client will now be pissed off, everyone's unhappy. Having a decent team, if you've got a decent team, is the best thing in the world. However, had I not had the right support team around me today, it would have made it 10 times worse. If I had to babysit them while I'm trying to do other stuff, it's just not gonna happen. So where having the right staff is so important to becoming very successful and very wealthy, it's also the most frustrating thing if you don't find the right staff. They're the best thing and the worst thing that can happen. So if you find the good person, hold on to them. If you've got slow to hire, quick to fire. So find the right person, and if they're wrong, fire them quickly, like get rid, because you can't afford to keep someone dead weight hanging on. So it's your business, it's not a charity. As bad as you feel for them or think they might suddenly pull their act together 3 months in, they're not going to. So bosh, get rid, find someone new. So yeah, let me crack on, and then I've got to get back to Watson. I'll be working into the early hours of the morning. And yeah, good fun. So guys, Jake went home about 5-6 hours ago, I think. He's left the camera here so Hannah can film me. It's been a long day. We've now got to input all of that order information, like I told you before, into Watson websites, 3 of us. It's going to take us to about 3 or 4 in the morning, I think, based on how many orders we've got and how long it's taking. It's just been one of those days. These happen. Watson's a big client of ours, so we need to make sure they're looked after, and like when shit, you've got to expect shit like this to happen every now and then. It was no one's particular fault, but obviously as the owner, I have to take full responsibility. So I have to now speak to Watson and sort everything out. All of the work we've done the last 2 weeks has to be redone. Luckily, we've got a lot of it saved. The other stuff saved, so we can actually get it probably up in about a day or two. So that's good. All the folders and everything we keep for in case of things like this happening. It's about 11 o'clock now. I'm going to be smashing some lean whiskies up until about 2 o'clock. Because to be honest, it's just kind of monotonous data inputting. So it is what it is. But yeah, this is the day in the life of a hybrid entrepreneur. Tomorrow, I'm going to probably do a little home leg workout, I think. The day will start all over again. The morning routine will happen. And I've got to make my list as well before I go to bed. I'll be up again early. I just won't have much sleep today. I'll probably get 3 or 4 hours sleep tops if I'm lucky. And yeah, that's life goes on. I love what I do, but sometimes it's hard. But things worth having aren't easy, don't come easy. So I need to stop talking, I need to drink some whiskey, and I need to go get back to work. So hope you've enjoyed the video, guys. Please subscribe. If there's anything you want me to cover, leave it in the comments. If there's anything you want me to go into more detail on, leave it in the comments. Drop me a DM, find me on Instagram. Please follow, subscribe, all that jazz. Yeah, I'm pretty tired now, so speak to you soon.